Hi guys, you're here with me, Jen the Taxidermy Witch, and we're going to talk about copper in witchcraft, okay? Copper is something I've always been drawn to, kind of like lava that we just spoke about, and I actually love to use both of them when I create pieces. Now, I'm not as creative a jewelry maker as someone who custom made this for me with copper wire. It's a bloodstone. And I love to wear this because copper, if you're Rh negative, and we're going to talk all about that, it helps charge your blood. And copper is something to have, really cool to have next to your body all the time, and I love wearing this. So she's got some kind of really nice ability to do that. When I make mine, I actually just stick big chunks of copper wire that are strung up like this to pull and charge in energy toward you, and maybe put a quartz point on the end so you can really get that charge into the amulet through the window. And that's how I use copper on my art, you know, my chicken foot art, etc. And I'll just put these big copper wires coming out with a crystal point or something. So then when I'm on my moon, when I'm on my moon cycle, you know, when I'm on my period, when I'm menstruating, I wear this, and it's made of horns and copper, and the horns are kind of all binded together. There's a couple different pieces that are put there, and then, you know, copper around my neck, copper at the points. It's in the shape of a moon, kind of, you know, it's upside down. I really love this, but I only wear this when I'm on my period, and that's really something sacred you can do. I did 3 different videos on menstrual blood and magic, and then one on how to use your menstrual pain to charge things with negative pain energy. Anyway, copper attached to the Rh blood type. Let's talk about it a little bit from just the information I got from YouTube's research, what I know about myself, and then we're going to talk about copper and what I found in books, okay? But I want to say what I know about it first. Copper. And think, inside your house, you have, a lot of people have copper plumbing. That's the newest type of plumbing to have. This is copper wire that I got from Home Depot, and it was the thinnest type that they had. That's what I use at the moment. So, let's talk about copper. A lot of times it's shaped like a serpent, and that's another reason why I do it in a twirl. That goes back to biblical times and Rh negative blood type. The Statue of Liberty is made of copper, okay? And it's a a big sign. Like, there's a lot of different views on what the Statue of Liberty means, but it is made of copper, and that's why it's faded to that green, okay? So she's up there in the state of New York, the state of, you know, the city, New York City, where all of these, you know, 13 bloodlines are doing their stuff, and, you know, the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers and whoever you believe to be in that whole circle. Well, that means something to an Rh blood type, Rh negative blood type. Now, let me tell you what it means. Rh means the rhesus monkey, and you're either positive for it or negative for it, and about 20-ish% of the population is an Rh negative, like me. And our blood base is copper, not iron. So they say when you lose blood when you're on your period, or when you lose blood if you're in an accident, you need iron supplements. Well, it matters. It depends on your blood type. Now, you'll know if you're Rh negative if you are a woman and you've had trouble getting pregnant, and then they give you a special shot. Okay, that means you're Rh negative, and your partner is Rh positive. And when you get pregnant with a baby, your body fights it away like it's a disease. You can only get pregnant with, like, your own race type of thing unless you get this shot. My daughter was made out of a shot. I don't know what that means spiritually. Like, it really is something I think about a lot, because I couldn't have produced her without the shot, and it's just interesting to think about. So, copper conducts electricity, and some people say it doesn't, but I believe that it does. And if you're an Rh negative blood type, it means that you do not test positive for the rhesus monkey. There's none of that in your bloodline, so you don't come from monkeys. You come from something else. And the Rh negative blood type showed up on this planet between 1,000 and 2,000 years ago, I believe. Right around the time of maybe Christ or something, so like 2,000 years ago. in history, right? So, let's say this. A lot of people think the Rh negative is the Holy Grail, race, because it comes from the Israelites. They also had Rh negative, and that kind of leads to that New York City Grail bloodline. Okay, Statue of Liberty being a big totem of that. Copper, you know, our blood is copper. It's a big totem. It was a gift from France, and I don't really understand that whole story, but we're talking about copper. Pre-1982 pennies are made of copper, and my good girlfriend sent me a bunch of those, and that was so, so kind. Thank you again, my love. Sesame has copper. So if you use sesame seeds in your magic, or if you made an amulet like this that held sesame seeds and maybe a twirl of copper on the inside and sesame, that would be really cool, just to like charge your blood, you know. And have you ever heard the phrase open sesame? Some people believe it has to do with a kind of code word for the blood type. Most important, it's so important that we ingest it, we wear it, and we hold it. So keeping it close to your body, whether it be on jewelry or just this piece by your bed or in your window. The moonlight, if you have your window open like I do, kind of comes in and charges you in your bed. If you wear jewelry in bed and you're able to fall asleep up, it's just so nice. It will charge those chakra points. In my dream house would have a big skylight over my bed, you know, so either the sun or the moon could charge me. And of course I would have like a roof that would go back and forth. It's my dream house, okay? I'm allowed to have dreams. Okay, so I want to talk about many people in history had Rh negative, like Jesus Christ apparently had Rh negative, and Moses, and they had superpowers, like they walked on water, they parted seas. So in history, the Rh negative blood type has been one that it's almost alien. It's almost like we are so, so pure. Our blood just does, it's not like anything else. So, and where did it come from? Like the rhesus monkey blood's been here for thousands of years, right? But our blood type's only been around for a short time. Where did we come from? There's a lot of videos talking about that. Please look into them. Please watch them. You know. Here are some Rh negative traits, okay? You can get kits online to test your blood, but the best way is just to go get it tested at the, go donate blood, right? I don't know if that's still truth, because I haven't donated blood for a while, because you can't donate if you've had a tattoo in the last year, and obviously, for me it's like always never, but in my younger years I did. Here are some Rh negative traits. Empathy, and if you don't know if you're an empath, it's like when you walk into a room and you can just automatically know if people are fighting, or if they're happy, or if they're sad, or if they're worried. You can feel it. And you can feel their feelings, and you absorb that feeling, and it hurts. There are a lot of stones that you can wear to protect yourself from that, you know, that repel, and lava, which we just talked about, was one of them. So making something of lava and copper, you know, with maybe a quartz crystal point on it, would just be so, so nice to have right on you, right, just holding right here. Maybe all in one of these. If you want me to make one of those for you, we do a custom order on my Etsy page. Super easy, and that will be in the link in the description below. Any of these kind of custom jewelries. You could even put a copper penny in one that's a little bigger, and you could keep it next to your bed. So, another trait is more psychic abilities. Rh negative people have more psychic abilities. You know what's going to happen before it happens. You know the phone's going to ring right before it rings. You know you're going to get a text message alert right before you hear it. You know that your boss is going to call you and say your name right before it happens. It's just like you don't know why, and it feels really weird. Those are psychic abilities. Those are you being able to tap into we'll get to this on the other side, but you're just really, really pure, so you should feel awesome about that. Okay, you have dreams. You dream of things that happen before they happen, and you just don't know why. But if that happens to you, you should tell people about it. Like if you have a dream that your friend's in a car accident, tell them, because maybe they'll drive a little bit more cautiously that day. Yeah. You're one that just, you're the space out type. Like you will just like be watching a movie and then all of a sudden be like looking at the floor or the wall and just like, you put yourself in meditations in any space you are. You're the type of person that could maybe just take a nap anywhere, because when you need to check out, you do. And I believe that's something higher than this other blood type. And I'm not saying anything about positive blood types if you're a rhesus monkey positive. That's a funny word. I'm a rhesus monkey negative. I'm a rhesus monkey positive. I'm not saying anything bad about those blood types, but they do have to work harder to tap into the abilities. We are able to tap into Akashic Records easier, and I did a video all about Akashic Records. Ooh, welcome to the family. I had a husband and wife that just said that they just found me and they're like in love with the channel. Thank you, welcome everybody, welcome them. They're just so great. I just typed to you, but I forgot your name. I'm so sorry, but kisses and welcome. I love when families and friends get together and watch. It's so fun. So if you're the type to space out, you're a deep thinker, you're a self-set meditation. I'm a self-set meditation, and I have been since I was a kid. If you remember being a kid and your parents always going, hey, hey, and you're like deep, deep in, you know, these are traits of RH negative. Or if you're positive and you have these traits, you're doing really good. You've worked really hard to get where you are, because it's so easy to fall into the other, if you will, matrix of things. Okay, you look youthful for a long time. I'm 36. I don't think I look super youthful, but I'll show you my picture of my mom when she was 18. This is her graduation picture. And we look a lot alike. And I think I look pretty young for 36. I don't know. Who knows? But I'm just saying that that is one of the traits, is like staying youthful for quite some time. Keeping copper on your body will help you attune with these things. Another trait that you can probably have is technology. It gets effed around you. Like your phone's so slow, or your Wi-Fi is so slow, or it breaks down a lot when you're around. That's another trait of RH negative blood types. Also, if you have a EMF monitor thing that monitors electromagnetic frequencies, those like ghost detectors, it'll go off higher around you, just because of your blood type. So if you're one that holds one, it's not really a good reading. You have to, a positive person holding one of those is a much better reading. Okay, because you're automatically in that, more of that, the veil is kind of open for you. It's a little bit more easy for you to just kind of, I believe when you space out, or when you do astral travel and you're an RH negative, you are so easy to float right into that middle of the veil, or, you know, right there. We are less able to get disease. We have a lower cancer rate with the RH negatives, lower Ebola, lower HIV. We're better at self-healing. Now, if you are one to do, like for instance, I'm terrified of the dentist and I know that my teeth need work, but it's been 12 years, you know, and I've been doing shit like this to help myself. And remember when we did the live and I showed you what's in my fridge, all those vitamins I take, that cow colostrum that I take for my teeth, it's re-healing things that they said were going to be root canals. This stuff, and this is what I use for pain, the buzz buttons, it numbs your mouth, they're fucking amazing. And I'm sorry to swear in this video, but this is just a really, like, I'm so passionate about this topic, menstruation, magic, how they all kind of work together. And back to, where's that necklace that I had? It just all comes together. So let's talk about, and so you're able to heal yourself. So you all you have to do is believe that you can do it, and you're doing it. Period. You know, I'm a healer, I'm a self-healer. And the RH negatives are going to be the people that aren't so good at math, but they're more artistic. They are, I have a list that I made. if you sit next to somebody, and it can be any blood, they can be a positive or a negative. If you sit next to somebody, and especially if you touch them, you can read their thoughts if you are in tune enough. If you are a meditator, if you are really there, you can read their thoughts. So I think that that's quite amazing, and you can feel their feelings, you know. Not like Sookie on True Blood, not like that. I'm just talking about, like, you can feel their feelings. You can't hear what they're thinking about you perfectly, but you just really need to, like, get this stuff going and bond and connect, okay? We're not clonable, which makes me happy, because I saw the movie Cam, C-A-M, on Netflix, and it scared the shit out of me, because I had just started doing YouTube for like 2 or 3 months when that movie came out. But we're not clonable, so that's good. We can tap into the Akashic records with astral travel and practice and meditation and Kriya Yoga. Kriya Yoga. I want you guys to look deeply into that. We're getting ready to move, so we don't have all of our books in access right now. All my yoga books. I have so many on Paramahansa Yogananda, the author of Autobiography of a Yogi. If you guys have questions about that, I can answer them, hopefully. I studied that for 2 years after massage school. So we're natural healers. We can heal our body naturally, like I said. We can actually, if we go outside and we tap into nature, we are able to ignite our DMT through meditation. Do you know what DMT is? It's like that thing that people take to get high. Well, we have it in our brains, and our body it just sits there. And what it sits there for is when you die, it lets some out, so that when you die, you're high and happy, and it's like morphine times 50. And it's just sitting there in all of our brains ready for when we die. But people who are Rh negative, apparently, and I'm not saying I can, I just learned this today. People who are Rh negative can ignite that DMT in their brain through nature meditation. Okay? Know that you can do this, and you can. Don't think maybe I can. Know that if this is your blood type, this is what you are, and this is what you can do, okay? You have to believe, because it's fucking there, and it's fucking true, and all you have to do is believe, and I'm about to cry, because I'm passionate on the subject, but we're not doing that. So we are what they call Hue. We're pure souls. We've never been reincarnated. If we think we remember past life things, that's the Akashic records. If you are Rh negative and you've done working with past life and they tell you this and you get this from your dreams and all of that, that is not a past life for you. You don't have past lives. I don't know exactly what happens to you, but we're called pure souls. We have no past lives. We're called Hue, H-U-E, not hybrids. Can't be cloned, and we're the healers, the teachers, the ones that want to touch and take care of somebody because we're the empaths, you know. So that's a little bit about that, and that's 20 minutes about that. Now we're going to do the reading, okay? So copper comes up in Magical Herbalism by Scott Cunningham on page 40, and it says, when you make a censer, a vessel of brass, copper. So this is a censer, and it's what it's talking about right here. A vessel of brass, copper, clay, etc., in which incense is burned. Any object that is used in this manner. So here's a brass censer. Copper censer. Okay, next we've got on page 85, it says, this is perfect because I'm working on a custom order for somebody who wants to really bring in their twin flame or a really, really positive relationship. And I'm making a chicken foot window charm. It's going to have copper wire. It's going to have crystal points. it's going to have this, because I knew that I've started blessing the stones in the eclipse that happened on the full moon that just passed. I've started working on this working. I've got the chicken's feet going, but I was like, what herbs am I going to put this with this and why? And I know that some of my new books are going to lead me there. So my new book, this one, led me to talk about copper. I looked it up and found it in this one, and then I found something for her working. So it says yarrow makes an excellent marriage charm, and I have loads of organic yarrow. I love it. It smells so good. It's such a positive herb. I love it. And it says, on a Friday during the waxing moon, take 9 dried yarrow flower heads. Bind the stems together with a copper wire. Then tie a small bow over the wire with a green ribbon. Present it to a married couple with the instructions to hang it over their bed or place it on the headboard. If you get into a fight with your husband or wife, wear the oil of basil. Okay, so what I'm going to do is do a variation of that and do a calling your twin flame or your soulmate in, okay? So, because I don't have the yarrow that's fresh picked and foraged from the flower, I'm going to fill this up with yarrow, and I'm going to put the copper wire around it, okay? And with the intention and actually a petition inside that is calling the twin flame toward her, okay? And the copper wire is there to call, it's like asking for that blood to come toward you. And especially if you're Rh negative, you can call an Rh negative person toward you, because then you won't have any problem making babies. Like I said, 20% of women aren't going to be able to make babies with their partners if they're Rh positive. So that's a really interesting to know maybe before you, like when you're dating someone, it might even be a question. It should be, because if you want to have easy pregnancy, I'm just saying. I'm not saying that nobody that's, you shouldn't date a different blood type because that's like racist. I'm saying if you want to have an easy time getting pregnant and you're Rh negative, please look into that. Okay, so it comes up really quick in the Stone Bible, and it just says that if you're working with this stone that I can't really pronounce the name of, the blue one, okay, it says that it enhances the simulation of copper into the body, detoxifies the liver and inflammation, and removes inflammation of the female sexual organs, and treats thrush. So this, well, no. Oh yeah, that's this one. This one helps with the copper, okay? So it enhances the simulation of copper in the body, so it's going to help you produce more copper, and that's called a pink chalcedony, a raw one right there. I love raw stones. And then I also found on this page, I'm doing a working for somebody whose father is very ill with lung issues, just like my father. So she's like my soul sister I never knew, and we just met. It's great. I made her that beautiful working, that art box that we did, and I made that wand with the wishbone and the quail eggs. It was so amazing. So it says that this blue stone here, right there, will cause blue calanarla enhances the immune system. It stimulates the flow of lymph and banishes edema. It has inflammatory effect and lowers blood pressure, and it heals the lungs and clears the respiratory system of all effects of smoking. A lot of our fathers are sick from smoking for so many years, if you're in my age group of like 36 or higher, right? Or even lower. I'm just saying a lot of people used to smoke, and a lot of people still do smoke. So a little information about a stone that could help with that. Just popping that into the copper video. And absolutely, if your father or mother, or you have an older person who is ill, get them some copper, because either way, with whatever their blood type is, or you can get them some iron if you know that they're a positive blood type, but get them some metal to wear that can just kind of recharge their body right there at their heart, because the heart's going to charge the blood, okay? So I've got this bloodstone wrapped in copper wire just to influence that blood flowing through my body. Okay, so in Scotty's book, and this is actually the old school cover that I got from my Thrift Books app, and it was like $3.50 instead of $14.95 plus tax, okay? So it's an older version. It might not be the updated one. I don't know because I don't have the other one, but I think it's got everything. I like the older books, and it's actually got some people highlighted in it and stuff, so that's kind of fun. Anyway, about copper, it says under crystal quartz, which I've got some right here. Well, here's the top. Here's a quartz and some copper, okay. So it says, quartz crystal, that the associated metals are silver, copper, and gold. So the best thing to put with a quartz crystal is going to be silver, copper, or gold. All right. Next, about copper, in this book, it says, oh yes, when it was talking about the magical uses of emerald, it says, for best results in magic, or so the old magicians recorded, an emerald should be set in silver or copper. Okay? And that's funny because my class ring that my mom still has in her curio case from the year 2000 is when I graduated, is set in white gold. So it's set in the wrong thing, but I think emeralds are pretty cool. Maybe I'll take the gold off and then take the emerald, separate them, use the emerald as, because that would be really cool. I'll do that one day. Alright, so next about copper is the big info on it. No. Yeah, next is the big info. Okay, copper. Copper. Energy, receptive. Planet, Venus. Element, water. Deities, Aphrodite. Astarte, Ishtar. Associated stones, quartz crystal, and emerald. Associated herb, mimosa. So, and then a substitute for mimosa is angelica. Powers, energy, direction. So bringing in that energy toward you, bringing that in, especially if you were to wrap it around that quartz point, bringing it in. So direct energy, direction, healing, luck, love, protection, money. Magical ritual lore. Copper, a reddish-orange metal. Yeah. And when I hold this, my arm feels no pain. I have a lot of pain from doing massage in my muscles. When I just hold this big chunk, sometimes I just sit and hold it, and I don't feel any pain. So, a reddish-orange metal has long been linked with the divine. During ancient Mesopotamia times, it was, and that's when the Rh negative blood type started showing up. Okay, I'll say that. It was attributed to the Queen of Heaven as well as to the goddess associated with the planet Venus. These include Ishtar, Astarte, and perhaps Inanna, the Sumerian predecessor to the first two deities mentioned above. And Sumerian, all these things are kind of linking into what different people think about the Rh negative blood type. But science says other things, Alright, so next we're saying, it has also been sacred to the sun in Babylon as well as to the early inhabitants of the Pacific Northwest U.S. That's me. So that's really interesting too. It's been sacred to the Pacific Northwest, the inhabitants here. Magical uses. Copper is well known as a conductor of electricity. So Scotty said it, that other lady on YouTube is wrong. And I thought it was a conductor anyway, because when I hold it, the pain leaves. That's really awesome. And maybe I need to cleanse this after the pain leaves. So we're getting low on time. I gotta speed talk here. Copper is well known as a conductor of electricity. One modern use of this metal is also to fashion wands of copper tubes. These are topped with quartz crystals. Okay, my intuition is pretty cool, but I had seen, pictures of it, but now I know that that's something that Scotty does too. And you guys know Scotty is my father of witchcraft. Scott Cunningham. These are topped with quartz crystals and sometimes wrapped with leather. That's another thing I do. Or another shielding substance. Such wands are used in magical rituals to direct energy. Again, my Etsy link is in the description. I can do custom orders on anything for you. This metal is also worn during ritual for the same purpose, to heighten the magician's ability to direct energy to the magical goal. Copper has long been used to stimulate healing. This seems to be because the copper's ability to balance the body's polarity, and that's the balance of energy, the yin, the yang, for the flow of the protective and receptive energies. Blockages in this energy pattern, according to the shamans and healers alike, lead to imbalances and thus disease. Copper's healing associations are boundless. In Mexico, a copper penny is placed on the navel, your belly button, before a trip to prevent motion sickness. Copper is worn to relieve rheumatism, arthritis, and any painful conditions. So arthritis in the hands, you could wear a bracelet of copper if they make big ones. Copper wire is loosely fastened around legs and arms to relieve cramps. See, my intuition, I was holding this, but now I know that Scotty says you can wrap it around your arm. So go to Home Depot, get a big piece of this, and you can literally just weave it around your arm. Come back! We'll find it, don't worry. Here we go. Okay. Pure copper in any form is often worn for general healing and to prevent sickness. To be most effective in health-related applications, copper is usually worn on the left side of the body. Right, left. No way! I'm holding my left hand, you guys. I have to talk fast. We're so far into the video. Worn on the left side of the body. By those who are right-handed, like me, the reverse. So if you're right-handed, wear it on your left side. If you're left-handed, wear it on your right side. Copper is a lucky metal, perhaps because of its past solar attributions, and so it can be used in combination with any luck-bringing gemstones. A metal of Venus, copper is worn to attract love. Emeralds, if you can afford them, can be set in copper and worn for this purpose. Anciently, seeds of mimosa were set into copper rings and worn especially during confrontations for protection against all manner for ills and negativity. I love that. And finally, copper is used to draw money. Through the pennies of the United States are no longer made of copper, but pre-1982, y'all. Older pennies, especially those minted in the leap years, what? I need to check that out, have long been placed in the kitchen to attract money in the household. So you can go through those pre-1982 pennies, find out which ones were made in the leap year. Okay, you guys, there's one more little thing, but I'll say it in the next video. Alright, talk to you soon. Thanks for joining me, Jen the Taxidermy Witch, while we talked about copper. Bye!